Hello students, welcome to BioWise with Achal. Today we are going to study about competency focused practice questions. So this is for your practice and you are going to write in the comment section with that is what is the answer. Question number plus your right option. So let us see that how many of you are prepared for your board examination. So without wasting time, subscribe the channel first and then proceed with the competency based questions. The first question. Now, Rita suffers from a constant headache and high blood pressure. Her residence is close to an airport. Now, airport can be a reason of air pollution as well as noise pollution. But here it has been mentioned that there is constant headache. So here, what will be the answer? What is the most likely cause for her condition? It should be 1A, noise pollution. Very good. Moving to the next. An exoendocrine gland. Exo means exocrine, endo means endocrine. That means they're asking about which one is a dual gland. So dual gland, which one is a dual gland? Two answer is pancreas. Very good. Moving next to the question. If both kidneys fail, urea from the blood is removed by dialysis. That is true. An accumulation of urea in the body is toxic. This is also true. So actually assertion is true and reason is a correct reason for the assertion. And both the things are true. Sorry, the answer will be both are true. Correct? Moving to the next. Rajesh was told to buy a blue cloth by his craft teacher. He could not differentiate between blue color from the green and hence bought a green cloth to the class. Which medical reason would have resulted in this situation? Now here he is not able to differentiate between colors. So what is the right answer? Color blindness. Very good. Moving to the next. Mary sprinkled 5 kg of common salt on the grass of her lawn, making the condition hypertonic. After a couple of days, she observed that the grass has wilted and died. This is due to which of the following condition? Now, grass has wilted and died because of hypertonic. That means water from the grass has been lost, has come out. So, what has happened? The plant has plasmolysis because endoosmosis will not happen. Exoosmosis should happen. Exoosmosis leads to plasmolysis. So plasmolysis is the right answer. Next question. In cholera patients suffering from vomiting and watery bowel, they may die due to. Now, since the water of the body is being removed from the system through the digestive system, water has to be conserved by the excretory system. So, in the patients who suffer from cholera, they do not urinate. So, what will happen? The poisoning by accumulation of high quantities of urea in the body. What is this condition called when you have accumulation of urea in the blood? The condition is called uremia. Okay, so this is the answer. Next one, you can see these two diagrams, right? Figure A and figure B. Now the figure A shows, and what is the here what happens? All the chromosomes are aligned in one place, right? Are aligned in one plane. So this is metaphase. And here they are moving away from the center, so it is anaphase. So the first one is metaphase, second one is anaphase. So what is the answer? Metaphase and anaphase. Next one. A person is suffering from kidney failure. He is put on dialysis machine by the doctors and the osmotic pressure of dialysis fluid should be. Now tell me if the fluid is of higher dilution or higher concentration, or you can say it's hypertonic, then what will happen? All the blood cells will lose water. And if the osmotic fluid, that fluid, dialysis fluid is hypotonic, then all the water will enter into the blood cells. So there will be change in the concentration of the cells. So what is needed? The concentration should be isotonic. That means it should be equal to that of the blood. Then the cells will be okay in the blood, right? Moving to the next. A squirrel is in scary situation. Now they are saying it is scary situation. The secreted adrenaline prepares the body to meet the situation. Which of the following is not true for the situation? Adrenaline prepares the body to fight against danger. That is true. Extra energy and strength are provided to the body. At the time of stress, fewer hormones are released in the blood. Adrenaline prepares the body to run away from the danger. At the time of stress, fewer um, hormones are released in the blood. This is not right. Correct? Extra energy and strength, that is all okay. Okay? So adrenaline does all these things. Sympathetic nervous system, I hope you remember. The main pulmonary artery pumps oxygenated blood from the right ventricle into the lungs. Inside the lungs, the artery divides several times to form capillaries around the air sac. Now, tell me, main pulmonary artery pumps the oxygenated blood from the right ventricle into the lungs. Is it true? Pulmonary artery pumps oxygenated blood from the into the lungs. That is true. And inside the lungs, the artery divides. That is also true. So both the statements are true. Next one, given below are some common reflexes in human beings. The conditioned reflexes you have to find out. So quick closing of eyelids when strong beam of light is flashed, that is your natural reflex. Applying brake to your vehicle, that is your conditioned reflex. Playing a musical instrument, playing a musical instrument is what? It's a conditioned only, conditioned reflex. And coughing is a natural reflex. So 2 and 3 is the conditioned reflex. Right? 2 and 3 is the right answer. Moving to the next, electrons splitting of water molecules in photosynthesis are used in producing ATP. So ATP is the right answer here, right? You know, photolysis of water releases 4H plus and electrons, 4 electrons and oxygen, right? That electron is required for the production of ATP. Moving to the next, the 4 major steps on seeing an object. Now here, interpretation by the brain will be the last thing, right? Focusing on the image, entry of the light rays, transmission. So first what will happen? The light rays will enter your eyes and then you will focus on the image. Then transmission of the nerve impulse from the retina to the brain, that is 3241. Where is 3241? 3241. This is the right answer. Okay, moving to the next. You can see the diagram ABCD. Based on the given figure, identify the structure as well as functional unit of the kidney. Now, structural and functional unit of the kidney is nephrons, right? So, where are the nephrons present? Here, glomerulus and all, right? So, you can see C is the nephron. C is the nephron. Next one. Seminiferous tubules produces sperm. That is true. Seminiferous tubules secrete oxytocin, which aids in the production of sperm. This is wrong. Testosterone. Right, so the A is true and R is false. Next one. Assertion. The nerve impulse travels from the axon of the neuron to the axon of the another neuron. The end portion of the axon has swollen ends which store neurotransmitters. So this is axon of a neuron to the axon. That is wrong. This should be dendrites. So A is false. A is false, right? This one is wrong. It should be dendrites. Moving to the next. Now, Thomas plays cricket on a hot summer afternoon. His urine output was much less, though he drank plenty of water. What could be the possible cause? Now, kidney absorbs lots of water. Sweat glands are active. Kidney absorbs less of water. Sweat glands are inactive. Now, here sweat glands are active. The Q is a possible answer. And kidney reabsorbs water. That is also true. Right? So kidney is reabsorbing water and sweat glands are active. P and Q is the right answer. Then acid rain is caused due to polluted gases like CO2, SO2 and oxides of nitrogen. The pollution which does not take place immediately after acid rain. Now, after acid rain, which of the pollution does not take place? Air pollution, obviously, is there. Water pollution, obviously, with the acid. Soil, yes, acidic pH of the soil increases. Sorry, decreases. So, what will be the that is not there? Noise pollution is not there when we have acid rain. Moving to the next, Surya's father was diagnosed with diabetes mellitus. The doctor advised him to avoid certain foods. Which food he should avoid eating? Which has got carbohydrates? So, sweets he should not eat and bananas he should not eat. So P and R is the right answer. Right? P and R is the right answer. Pulses are protein, leafy vegetables are vitamins, sweets and banana is rich in carbohydrates. During light adaptation, what happens? Cones become active and rods inactive. Or rods and cones become active, rods become active. So here, with light adaptation, में cones become active. And basically the rhodopsin region disintegrates or bleaches out, right, in bright light. A cell of a leaf of an aquatic plant is kept in 5% salt solution, matlab hypertonic solution. The phenomena will take place is, now here it will be plasmolysis and flaccidity. Water will lose. That is right. Next one, osmosis is controlled by the concentration of dash molecules. What will be the answer? Osmosis is controlled by the concentration of water molecules or solvent molecules. Correct? The animal cell is kept in lower solute concentration fluid. Lower solute concentration fluid matlab dilute solution. So here the cell will, what will happen? Enlarge. Correct? Next one. Plant absorbs water from the root because the cell sap is more concentrated or less concentrated. Plant absorbs water from the roots, right? Because the cell sap, if it is more concentrated, then only the water from the outside will enter. So here the answer will be more concentrated. Correct? Moving to the next. Human blood cells, when kept in hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution matlab water will move out of the cell. So exoosmosis will happen. Exoosmosis. Exoosmosis will happen. Next one. Given below are the experimental setup. Read the information given below the diagram and answer the questions. Now you can see the diagram. This is osmosis, right? So concentrated sugar solution is taken in the thistle funnel. The mouth of the thistle funnel is covered with cellophane paper, which acts as a semi-permeable membrane. And the thistle funnel is inverted in the beaker containing the water. So above experiment demonstrates what? Osmosis. Osmosis. Next one. After few hours, the level of sugar solution will be, water will enter into the cellophane paper. So sugar solution will rise in the thistle funnel. Correct? Next one. It allows dash molecules to pass through it freely. Now you answer. It should be water molecule or the solvent molecule. Correct? It prevents the passage of what molecule? Sugar. Sugar cannot pass through the cellophane paper or the semi-permeable membrane. A control experiment can be set up by taking plain dash in the thistle funnel and placing it in another beaker, plain water. Right? Plain water can be kept in the thistle funnel. Next one, short answers. Hemorrhage frequently happens in viral dengue. Compare this condition with hemophilia. Now in dengue, what happens? Platelet counts drop. So when platelets count drop, the blood coagulation does not happen, clotting does not happen properly, right? So if platelet counts drop, the blood starts oozing out from the blood capillaries and the hemorrhages are observed. But in case of hemophilia, the clotting factor is missing. So here you have to mention both. So you have to talk about first hemorrhage in dengue fever, that will carry 1 mark, and then compare this condition with hemophilia, where you have to talk about the clotting factor, 1 mark. So here hemorrhages happen frequently in dengue fever because of the low platelet count, and in hemophilia it is hemorrhages happen because of no clotting factor. Differentiate between the rate of photosynthesis for the increase in temperature. 20 to 30 degree may you have increase in the photosynthesis. At least the photosynthesis doubles up in every 10 degree rise in temperature. The rate of photosynthesis doubles till the optimum temperature, that is around 35 to 37 degrees centigrade. After that, there is drop in the rate of photosynthesis. So 40 to 50 degrees centigrade, you will see the drop in the photosynthesis, right? Rate in the photosynthesis, and 20 to 30 you see the rise in the photosynthesis. The graph is like this. Okay, this is the optimum temperature around 37 degrees centigrade, 25 to 37 degrees centigrade. Okay, so here 40 to 50 will rise here. So you have drop in the photosynthesis process. Okay, next one. Name the nitrogenous base with which guanine pairs. The guanine pairs with cytosine. Cytosine, right? In the helical structure of DNA. And how many bonds are formed? Triple bonds. 3 bonds. Correct? That is G triple bond C. When an irritant enters the nose, a sneezing reflex happens. Identify the stimulus and the response. So irritant becomes the stimulus and sneezing becomes the response. An atomic explosion in 1945 in Japan led to, 1 minute. In Japan led to a large number of persisting deformities because it has, what might has happened here, mutation has happened in the DNA content. That is why you have so many problems that is happening. So mutation has occurred here, right? And it has impacted the DNA, and since the genetic material is mutated, it is passing from one generation to the other. Why is bicuspid valve named so? Because it has got two cusps or flap. That is why it is called bicuspid valve. Under which condition does the leaf take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere? Higher concentration of carbon dioxide outside the leaf as compared to inside, so diffusion of carbon dioxide takes place. A pregnant lady is suffering from viral fever. Will the fetus be infected? No, because microorganisms actually does not pass through the placenta. All organisms cannot pass through the placenta. Few can pass. Antibodies can pass through placenta, but the fetus will not be affected by the viral fever. Why is the blood flows through the glomerulus under great pressure? Here, the different diameter of the arteries, that is the afferent and the efferent arterioles, that is, you can say wider afferent arteriole as compared to the efferent arteriole. Okay, as compared to the efferent arteriole, it creates pressure in the glomerulus, which helps in ultrafiltration. Genotype is the genetic constitution of an organism, and phenotype is the physical appearance of the organism. Now, this question can be asked for 2 marks, so 1+1 can be given for genotype and phenotype. And if it is asked only for 1 mark, then if you write both the answers correctly, then you get 1 mark. Okay, moving to the next. The number of asthma patients increases during winter in the metropolitan cities like Delhi. Why is it so? And how it can be reduced? Now, during winter, what happens? Generally, because fog and all is very common in winter. So, what happens because of the pollution? You have got smoke plus fog, which gives you smog. And this leads to respiratory issues and asthma. And how it can be reduced? How can you reduce pollution? Air pollution. You can give any answer. Installation of chimneys, precipitators, anything can be used and you can reduce pollution. So in what way you can reduce air pollution? You can write it here. Check for the marks. If marks are 2 or 3, depending upon that, you have to write the answers. In a country, the infant mortality rate is high, but the population is still increasing in India. Explain. Now, since in our country the infant mortality is high, but still infant mortality rate is high, but still population is increasing because there are too many children who are born. And the death rate has also gone, that is, what to say, the natality is high, birth rate is high. At the same time, the people, uh, they are not, what to say, mortality rate is low because of the better medical conditions. So you can write that. So even if infant mortality rate is high, still there are many children who are born, and number of people dying is less because of the better medical facilities and all. Vermiform appendix is an vestigial organ because it is not used in us anymore. It is just organ which is present, has no known purpose and function. It must be functional in our ancestors, but it is not functional in us. Adrenal virilism is a condition where there is increase in androgens that leads to the growth of mustache and the beard in the females. So this is called adrenal virilism. Function of corpus luteum: ovum is not is fertilized, then corpus luteum becomes endocrine gland and starts releasing progesterone, which is helpful in maintaining pregnancy. And if it is not fertilized, then corpus luteum disintegrates to form corpus albicans, and the level of progesterone drops and the menstrual cycle begins. Okay. Shruti's mother gave birth to two male babies. Both the babies have strong resemblance. The doctor said they have been formed from single ovum. Matlab they are monozygotic. So what kind of twins are they? They are monozygotic twins or identical twins. And why are they same gender? Because they have been formed from single ovum. So fertilization happened once, and the gender is decided at the time of fertilization depending upon which sperm has fused with the egg cell. Okay. State the effect of adrenaline on the pupils of the eye. The pupil of the eye dilates and the heartbeat increases. Okay. This dilates and the heartbeat increases. Okay. When is albumin passed out in urine? When the kidney is not filtering well, and the condition is called albuminuria. Albuminuria. Okay. Then mention the significance of testes being located in the scrotum, because the temperature required for the sperm maturation is little lower than the body temperature. So it is located in the inside the scrotum, outside the abdomen area. So the temperature is generally 2 to 3 degrees lesser than the body temperature. Give two examples of natural resources which cannot keep pace with the rising population. Any two natural resources you can talk about, like the forest, then coal, petroleum, right? Keshav enters a dark room from a brightly lit area. He experiences difficulty in viewing, uh, and gradually the vision improves. The role of photoreceptors, as he is coming from the bright area into a dark room, then his rhodopsins are already bleached because he was in the bright light, and the cones were active. So when he enters into a dark room, the disintegrated or bleached rhodopsin regains its structure. So during that period of time, he is not able to see properly. But later on, when rods totally reassumes the structure, he starts seeing things properly. On a winter night, group of workers slept in a closed room, having a burning furnace to keep themselves warm. Now, this is carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay. Now, because of the incomplete combustion of the fuel and the people breathing, there is carbon. What has happened? Carbon monoxide poisoning. Carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay. This has happened. Right. And the carbon monoxide poisoning, what happens? Carbon monoxide combines with hemoglobin to form an irreversible structure called carboxyhemoglobin. And this reduces the efficiency of hemoglobin to carry oxygen. Okay. Moving to the next, that is now The next, that is long answer questions. Now, these are basically 3 marks or 5 marks, but now it's 3 marks questions only. That is, that can be diagram based questions. Okay. So, moving to that, Rohit's father has increased thirst and hunger with frequent urination. He also gets fatigue very soon. So, now which disease they are talking about? That disease they are talking about diabetes mellitus. So, here the first question is name the disease based on the symptoms given below. So, you have to write complete. Only diabetes will not help because diabetes is also there is one more diabetes, that is insipidus. Okay, so here you have to write diabetes mellitus. Which hormone whose deficiency causes the disorder? Now, the hormone hyposecretion of which hormone causes diabetes mellitus? The answer is insulin, right? And then what is the technical term of the high blood glucose level or sugar level? Now, high is what? Hyper, right? Sugar is what? Glycemic, and the blood is mia. So hyperglycemia is the scientific term or technical term used for high blood glucose level in the blood. Okay. Moving to the next question. Farhan's classroom is very close to the compound wall of his school. He was observing two pigeons sitting on the wall. He could see one clearly, but the image of the second bird was blurred. On the pigeon was little away from the first. Now he cannot see the distant object, right? So if he cannot see the distant object, then what is the disease that the person has? It's myopia. Where is the image of the second pigeon is formed? Now, in case of myopia, the image is formed in front of the retina, right? So in this case, the image of the second bird is formed in front of the retina, not on the retina, in front of the retina. And what lens is used? Concave lens. Answer is understood. So this is so simple. I think everybody will be able to write the answer. Now Manoj was writing a composition, the importance of education in life. Now name the part of the brain he uses to write his composition. Now here he is thinking and applying his knowledge. So it is cerebrum. It is voluntary or involuntary action. So obviously it is a voluntary action. He's thinking and writing on his own. Trace the nervous path. Now, what will happen? First is, uh, tell me, first is the sensory nerve, fingertips touching the pencil, right? Sensory nerves. Then you have brain, motor nerves, and then the muscles of the hand. Muscles of the hand that moves the fingertips. Okay, the first one will be the sensory nerves. Then it will go to the brain. Then from the brain, the motor nerves. The motor nerves will command the muscles of the hand, and that will make the fingertip move. That is the effectors, right? This is the order in which the order in which the impulse is going to transfer. Moving to the next. Study the given below. What is it is? What it is? Genome photometer, right? So identify the apparatus. It is Genong's photometer. Genong's photometer. Correct. G capital. What it is used to measure? It is used to measure the rate of transpiration equivalent to the rate of absorption of water by the shoot. So here their rate of transpiration, right? Rate of transpiration, which is equivalent to the rate of water absorption by the shoot. And one limitation of this apparatus, that is the twig is not going to survive very long. The one limitation, and the entire setup has to be matlab it gives different result in different temperature and condition. Like summer mein another result will be there, in winter different result will be there, rainy season different result will be there, right? Then inserting this air bubble is a problem. So all these things are limitations of this apparatus. So you can write that one only is needed. The statement given below are correct, are false, correct them. Fruit ripening is induced by एब्सिसिक एसिड नहीं होगा, यहाँ पे इथिलीन होगा. Root shows negative hydrotropism. Root shows negative phototropism. Thigmotropism can be demonstrated by clinostat. Thigmotropism nahi. Phototropism and geotropism can be demonstrated by clinostat. Two heterozygous pea plant having round seeds are crossed. Now this is heterozygous. So with each other, the phenotypic ratio of the offspring will be 3:1. Right? It will be 3:1. What will be the genotype of the offsprings? The genotype of the offspring ratio 1:2:1. 1:2:1. You have to mention what is this 3, what is this 2. So here it will be 3 round seeds and 1 wrinkled seed. Here will be 1 dominant round, 2 heterozygous round, and 1 wrinkled. And which of the following 2 traits is recessive? Wrinkled seed is a recessive trait. Wrinkled seed is a recessive trait. Okay. Next one, how is the rate of transpiration affected under the environmental conditions? High temperature, my rate of evaporation will increase. Okay, rate of transpiration increases. Low humidity mein, again, what will be the rate of transpiration? Low humidity, less water, so it will increase. Right? It increase. Rate of transpiration will increase. And low intensity of sunlight, matlab heat is less, so transpiration will decrease. Direct relationship. High intensity of sunlight, more of transpiration. Okay. Then next one, uh, increases. So this is all about the competency-based questions that were given in the website of CISCE. We have discussed all the questions. So prepare well, happy learning, and be connected with BioWise with Achal. Thank you, children. Take care.